Welcome back, boys and girls. Monster Train 2 Covenant 7 run. This one was giving me some trouble, but I finally got past it yesterday. We are going with Eka as our main and Madame Lion's main mushroom set for our backup. We go with that treat as our first artifact. The first monster cast every turn comes with Conduit 4. So what I was struggling with in the harder matches is conduit distribution. It's easy to pile up like hundreds of conduit on whatever floor Ekka's on because you tend to put the best monsters on that floor. But a lot of the time, they're the first line of defense, and they're not the last line of defense. Even this second fight, for example, I think he might get up to the second floor. Yeah, I believe he does. Like we knocked the shit out of him with some spell cards that we have. And I mean, this is a trash boss. He hardly even counts. But I lost several runs over the past few days just due to the top floor not having enough conduit. So we just whack him and call it a day. I go with Planetarium, again for the same reason I just explained, and a Titan's Gratitude. And we pick the Guard of the Unnamed. He gets Armor 3 on Incant. I throw Conduit on the Guard of the Unnamed, so he's going to always be on the floor when available, so he'll always be producing extra Conduit. I skip Multi-Strike in quick. I don't think any of my monsters were worth investing in that. We get to Joker. I go with Ghost Michelle. Plus 10 attack to all the monsters, and then you get a little kickback on it later. So this Roadkill guy, whose name I always forget. I think we actually knock him out first round, so we just drop our free Conduit and Incant boosters and then just hammer him with what we got. And we drop Titan's Gratitude, and then that throws the Crypt Maker for free. So that's a really nice setup, because those are both strong cards. So for 1 mana, you can get anything from like 3 to over 1,000 damage. So grabbing Priestesses, grabbing the Yellowstone. Obviously, I like sticking with Spellweaver personally. I don't see a benefit to the Empress route. So this is the end of the next fight. This guy gave me a bit of run for my money. And this again harks to having another floor besides your main floor that has conduit, because they may be called upon to finish off the boss. Let's drop the hammer on him. And you can see that line is quite tough. It's actually pretty beefy. Even though they look like, petite little monsters, they can take a hell of a lot of damage. So this guy, I'm just doing my best to squeeze a few more points out of the damage resolve. So we dropped a couple 32 damage Witch Weavers. So actually wasn't horrible. So we got him down to 95. We do some damage here, but we don't do enough to take him below 60. So we do take 2 strikes of damage when he gets up to the pyre, I believe. I think he does 24 damage. Yeah, so that was annoying. Anyway, there's a Moonlit Glaive, which is going to be clutch. We grab a Drain. And there's this jerk with the 40 Titan skin. Grab that Cavendish. And then we're going to jump right to the end of the Cherub fight. You can see he's only got 98 HP, so I've been doing my fair share of hammering on him throughout the fight. We've just had an abundance of damage output available. And then no surprise here, just load up everything onto the first floor, throw some debuffs on the Cherub. He can't bring his little bitch boys upstairs due to Inferno Room. And that's a quick KO. We take the Ritual Tome, which I think I end up duplicating, and Hell's Flame, because Heaven's Light this round was just not necessary. Spellweaver 3. And we're Wonder Woman. We'll do a jump cut to the end. Again, we have Inferno Room on the bottom floor now. So just prepare my troops on the second floor for the assault. And it ends up being a 1 and done. Well, technically 2 and done, because there was no monsters on the first floor. And we skipped that card. Okay, Harbinger of Entropy. He applies 5 sap to your monsters, which is pretty rough, but he's not the worst. So we drop Inferno Room, and our typical line, Eka, the Large Stone Priestess, and the Valor/Attack Priestess. So for my free card, I got an unnamed tome, which I end up saving for a few turns. Drop Ritual Tomes on that front priestess. So she's at Titan Skin 4. And I think I drop a couple bodies up top. Yeah, I actually made a mistake. That steward is supposed to be behind that Celine. Shloshaween, Bombolina, Stingoflin. Okay, sorry. I won't do that again. For at least a minute. So there's, a lot of mobility in that hand. We've got 5 mana, and our entire 9-card hand only calls for 4. So in cases like this, it really comes down to just the order of operations and what to put where, and that's, really the name of the game here. It's not rewriting the book. But you guys know how easy it is to make one hiccup, you miss one thing, and you can throw your whole run. Now, I don't ever use the restart turn or restart battle options. And I would think for the most part, if I don't win the first time, there's probably a really good chance that I wouldn't win on the second time. But what do you guys do? You keep redoing battles with slightly different tactics until you learn how to get it done. I do like Inferno, room on first floor. I don't often do that tactic, but having the ship mobs destroyed by the time they get to the second floor is very nice. Like sweepers specifically, and monsters that cast or that add blight cards to your deck. Often they get wiped as well before they get to the second floor. So that's my beefy steward. I just dropped in the front of the top floor. Just keep buffing. Buff, buff, buff. I get rid of him so I can... Why did I get rid of him specifically? Maybe I didn't want to send him upstairs. I think I used the tome now. Yeah, I did. He's got the X over his face. So use a gravity on him, drop him down a floor. That way the tougher three females, the three ladies, can handle them a bit more easily than the top floor. We think we lost our banana right there. We've got Cover of Night. That gives stealth and +5 attack to the line. I don't think I end up using it. Got a planetarium set up, so extra 15 conduit on the floor with the ladies. Juice her up a little bit. Well, top her off, really. I was kind of in an abundance of damaging spell cards right there. That's why it took so long for me to decide what I was going to do, and I ended up not using 2 or 3 cards. So we got the Glaive. That actually came as an extra card, I believe. Yeah, it did. So if you see Eka, she's got 313 on attack. So this Glaive I put on... I think I put on the Middle Priestess on the second floor, which I was nervous to do because she only has 8 HP. Oh no, she had Glass Cannon, so she was actually on Fragile. But then that changes back after giving her the Glaive. And finally get the Shark down. It was a 41 card deck, so it took 6 hands, I think, to get him into the loop. But just immediately start buffing him. He's immediately at 16 conduit and over 100 armor. I think I was still indecisive about who to drop the Glaive on, and I did put it on the Little Priestess. I'm thinking of how to save this Steward, and I just drop a Phase Blessing on him, and that helps him survive the attack from the Seraph. That was a good priestess that didn't really get used this battle. It's like the end of the battle, still haven't played her. I think I was going to put her in front of the steward, but I'd already played the phase blessing on him, so that would have been a waste, so I put her behind that steward, yeah. I got 3 free spells from a random spell card. And so I used a hammer, a crypt builder on the bottom floor. I'm not sure if I needed to. I would only need to if either Eka or the smaller priestess don't have high enough to attack to one-shot those foghorn, leghorn motherfuckers. Or is this the last turn? Or final turn? Okay. I end up knocking him. And then those 3 in the middle don't survive. 444, 455. Anyway, they were strong enough to take out the Seraph in one turn. So that's probably one of the strongest finishes I've had. Once the Mage Blades came in, I mean, we could have done it without them. They just made it extremely easy. So I'll be hopping on Covenant 8 today. And when I win that, I'll put that run up too. We got some PBs, 35k damage, Conduit 769, spells 248. And I was saying that win streak thing looks like a prolapse. I love those little icons. And then we did go into Endless, but you guys aren't missing anything there. Thanks for checking that out, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
His bones crushed, his spirit also crushed. Lamau!